The Department for International Trade and Liam Fox, International Trade Secretary, has rightly singled out services as a priority for the future trade strategy for Britain, given the importance of the services sector to Britain. A lot of intangible activities that don't involve producing something in a factory. But this is the most competitive sector of the UK economy. Professional services, banking, audit, marketing, design, IT, all sorts of business advisory. That's what makes Britain competitive in the global economy today. These are the sectors that are growing in global trade. And these are the sectors that also need something like the EU single market to really work seamlessly. Many who advocate that Britain leaves the EU say the single market doesn't work well in the EU. It has many flaws. However, on a global scale, the single market of the EU remains the deepest free trade area, especially for service, that exists out there. It's 500 million consumers, among them the most rich and prosperous consumers across the world. The EU single market, that's 39% of UK services export. The United States, that's a quarter of UK services export, 24%. China, that's 1.6% of EU services export. Canada, that's 1.5% of UK services exports. The United States as a target is an obvious candidate for a future free trade agreement, including in services with the United States. After all, the US is already 24% of UK exports, though it's still 15% less of export than the EU single market. The United States is overall slightly less open to international trade and services than the biggest economies in the EU, such as France or Germany. Recent data in the OECD show that, and they show that how much the single market matters for this. In free trade negotiations, bilateral free trade negotiations, the United States does not, as a rule, open up its services sector to its partners, even if they are very close allies and friends of the US. Take the Trans-Pacific Partnership. That's a trade agreement among 12 countries in the Asia Pacific. There is another priority for the UK government, TISA. Liam Fox, UK Trade Secretary, said that the Trade and Services Agreement was one of his priorities. The Trade and Services Agreement our negotiations launched in 2012 among 23 countries. These were frozen last year after Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. At the moment, there is no sign that TISA will be revived. On top of that, TISA was less about really liberalizing trade than aligning regulatory practices and bringing especially the poorer emerging markets closer to developed country standards, rather than having a hard bargain on some services sectors, including with the United States, where it did not want to open some of its markets. It's just going to be extremely difficult to make up for the loss of single market access with other countries, as these other countries will not be as keen to open up to UK services providers. It's going to be a very tough sell. This is also the case for China and other Asian markets like India that the UK is targeting in its future free trade strategy. Neither the EU nor the US have been able to convince these countries to open up their services sectors to them. And we're talking here about the two big trading powers of the world. The UK will be a middle-sized economy, diminished in its power. It will have much less leverage with these big partners like India or China in future to open up, especially the very sensitive services sector. Borderlex covers EU trade and increasingly also British dimension of EU trade. We offer news, analysis, commentary. Do come and visit our website, borderlex.eu, once in a while, and why not take a trial of our premium service, EU Trade Insights. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.